coming at you with 5 unique deck ideas.
I'm your host, Joe Cherries.
I'm your host, BZ, joined by Amber, and that makes us the Nitpicking Nerds. New video every day. Today is a day, so it's a new video. You can support us and all our new videos on patreon.com. That's where you can give us direct money and say, hey, Nitpicking Nerds, I really like your stuff. And we'd say, we'll love you forever. Here's some free stuff.
Yeah, and whenever you give us money, that means we have to do one less stupid ad for some stupid mobile game that you don't want to see in the beginning of these videos.
Keep it clean. Keep it down to the good stuff, like Dragon Shield, best sleeves in the multiverse.
Good sleeves.
You can go to that website and you can buy all the sleeves you want, all the playmats you want, all the accessories you need from the best company that makes them, and we're going to get support at the same exact time.
This video / channel / BZ himself.
Amber.
And Amber. All sponsored by Moxfield.com, the best deck building website out there. There's an ad in this video somewhere. Guess your time codes now. You will be incorrect. And if you're right, you cheated.
Yep. And happy birthday to everyone whose birthday is today.
Yep. Let's get right into it. 5 unique deck ideas. We're taking some decks and we're just throwing ideas in there. And we're going to tell you some cards that you can put into those decks, the commanders that'll make it work, and the strategy and what exactly it is.
Yeah, if you're feeling stagnant, you got writer's block, you can't think of any cool decks, these are 5 new decks that probably you haven't thought of before. They're at least very spicy and unique.
Yes, exactly. So the first one, right off the bat, Thrax Stacks.
Stacks is a different archetype.
Yes. Now, Thrax is Thraxamundar, which is the name of one of our friend's cats. Shout out to Andrew.
Yes, and Sax is Sacrifice, which is going to be the only form of removal we use in this deck so that we can get the maximum value from Thraxamundar.
Now, some of the payoffs, one of the best payoffs for sacrificing, if we're going to make everyone do it, Mayhem Devil is so good. Cast something like an Innocent Blood with you wipe 4 creatures off the board. You know, one of them's yours, but whatever. We don't care about that. We got useless stuff to sack all day. And then just deal 4 damage. You're probably killing the next best thing after that.
Yeah, we got Mortician Beetle, which is just absolute jank, downgraded from rare to common. Whenever anyone sacrifices anything creature-wise, you get a little counter on this guy. This is going to be our Johnny's Pridemate, which is also a bad card, but it's going to be very plucky. It's a very plucky card to attack with. It That Betrays and Turgid. Now when they sacrifice, we get it, and we're going to win the game.
I mean, how could you not love that? We're absolutely going to love this, and we obviously need stuff to sacrifice ourselves too, right? So what are we going to sack?
I mean, we're going to have plenty of doofuses. There's like Bloodghast and Nether Trader that just keep coming back. Maybe even Gravecrawler, depending on our zombie count.
Yeah, and obviously we're playing things like Yahenni in this deck, so we can sacrifice our own stuff all the time. And our opponent's creatures dying is going to help us out as well. We're going to have tons of sack outlets all over the deck. We're also going to be playing, obviously, Grave Pact, Dictate of Erebos. Talk about rewarding us for sacking our stuff. Now they sack, that's just perfect.
Yeah, each player sacrifices a creature. And then each opponent sacrifices another creature when you do. Camber gives us blood when our opponents sacrifice. Blade of the Blood Chief and Eternal Thirst can pump up Thraxamundar or whatever based on all the creatures that we're throwing out that are just being sacrificed continuously.
Yeah, and obviously we're sacking all of our stuff. One of my favorite payoffs for sacking your own stuff, Prowling Geistcatcher. Love this card. When you sacrifice stuff, it just goes underneath it. Then when this thing leaves, you get it all back. This card is awesome.
Smothering Abomination says draw a card whenever you sacrifice a creature specifically. Ruthless Deathfang says when you sacrifice a creature, somebody else sacrifices a creature. And the Bag of Devouring kind of stores them similar to Geistcatcher, but it brings them back in a weird way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have to pay to get them back. It's a whole thing, but it still works very well. Obviously, I talked about it earlier. Innocent Blood is going to make everybody sacks every version of Playcrafter. There's 70 of them. You can play literally any number of them. Just play them all in this deck. Rankle gets in, hits, make everyone sack. You can choose the other modes if you want when they're beneficial to you, but you're going to choose sack every time. In Henrika Dothraki, not Dothraki, Domnathi. Yeah, just like Dothraki, Domnathi is you can choose when you go to combat to make people sack.
Our opponents are not going to be able to keep anything on board, and whatever they do is going to get chipped away by Thraxamundar, who's just going to kill people.
Yeah, it's funny because what this deck's weakness really is token stacks. This deck is going to be very strong against decks that are playing really good cards and creatures, but if they're going really wide, this deck's going to start suffering.
Yeah. We can maybe be chain together some huge sacrifice turns, but also if you want, you can switch out Thraxamundar for Negan, because Negan says when people sacrifice stuff, you get a treasure.
Yeah, I mean, that's also an option. That one's more popular and well-known. Thraxamundar, not so much. Not so popular.
Not so good. Let's move on to the second deck. It's Green Sleeves, Green Deck, led by Green Sleeves. This is the green deck, if that wasn't painfully obvious. Green meaning every single card in your deck has to have very noticeable, majority even, green artwork on it.
Or it could have green in its name. Because if it has green in its name, it kind of just, goes up over the top and is like, yeah, okay, that beats it out. That's
clearly qualified.
It clearly qualifies. Its name is green. Like Dryad Green Seeker. It has green in the name. It's not that green of an art, but I'll still take it because its name is green.
Yeah, we get Ancient Green Warden to play lands from our graveyard, which Greensleeves actually wants. Green Weaver Druid, just kind of mana dork. It's so replaceable. Green Slime is like some naturalized stuff. And then Green Sun Zenith, actually just an amazing card.
Yeah, it's a really, really good card. We're a mono green deck. It's going to tutor up any creature in our deck with that card. For ramp, we actually get to play some. We got Fertilade, that's a pretty green card.
The new art, very, very green.
Very green, yes. Arbor Elf also got a lot of green. It's being an Arbor Elf and untapping lands, but it's also green.
Plenty of forest. Explorer, just there's like a green mist in the air. I don't know what's going on. Azusa's in some kind of like green forest. Nissa, who shakes the world, is making green gobbledygook come out of her body, so that's great.
Okay, I can't say it anymore. All these cards have green in the art. That is the whole point. Obviously, we want land drop. Greensleeve is a land drop commander overall, and you can't get super a lot, but you get Scooch Swarm and Avengers Zendikar, which are literally two of the best landfall cards in the entire format.
Yeah, that's how you actually win. And then you can go above and beyond with cards that just have way too much green in the artwork, so that's really going to give them nice inclusion spots in this deck. Rancor, Incubation Druid, you'll see him on screen. Old Gnawbone is painted green for some reason. Bow of Nylea, the sky is green. Court of Bounty, I don't know what's going on there. And then Sylvan Anthem even cares about green creatures. So bonus.
It has green in the
text box.
The text box. Now that's green.
Just fantastic. This is the all green deck. Your opponents probably won't even be able to tell what's happening on your board because between your green sleeves and your green deck and your green artwork, everything's just going to look the same.
This might be really confusing to colorblind opponents.
It's...
I don't know if that's true because I have... My knowledge on what colorblind people see and can't see and what gets mushed together is not good, but it might. There's a chance it is true.
And if so, choose carefully.
Up next, we got a cool little theme. The partners are Ikra Shadiki and Prava, and what you're doing here is you're going to have huge butts, so we care about butts, toughness. That's the whole deck with, obviously, some token theme because Prava pumps token butts.
You forgot to say the deck name, which is Token Butts.
Token butts, yes. Token butts. So, obviously, there's butts matter is a big part of this deck, and we're going to play our Dorans. We're going to play our Ancient Lumbernauts, our Hawatlis, all of these cards that care about butt, a soft formation, and they let us actually attack, and our butt is doing the damage, which is hilarious to think about if a creature attacks you with his butt. Just like it's a hip check. If you know hockey, hip check.
It's a booty bump. This is a deck that I brewed on a budget, but obviously you can go above and beyond with budget, but all these cards are going to be budget, which is why you see Huatli, Sun's Heart listed at all. Big Butts / life gain, there's going to be cards that just happen to have big butts that also care about life gain. We have Nykthos Paragon, so when you're sending in 7 X7s that are dealing 7 damage and getting you 7 life, you're going to start getting 7 counters.
Something good about that is if anything has First Strike with Nykthos Paragon out, it'll get in, trigger, put counters in all your other stuff, and then you'll gain a ton more life and deal a ton more damage.
Pontiff of Light randomly has 7 toughness. Does not look like it should have 7 toughness, but we get Extort up the wazoo.
Yeah, I mean, Pontiff of Light is a super solid card. Goes with our life game thing, and like you said, it just has a big butt. It's doing big butt things. Cliffhaven Vampire cares about whenever we gain life. So we'll gain life, they'll lose life. We're going to be draining them out like that.
Yeah, Tristani Discordant is an anthem, makes tokens, and has an unreasonably large butt. Accomplished Alchemist has an unreasonably large butt, and makes mana based on the amount of life we gain. It's so weird that all these cards work together in this very specific deck where it's like, you want high toughness and life gain, and you want to connect with creatures. I really love the Ikra Prava combo, because it's just like, if you give your creatures lifelink, it's just incalculable life totals, because you're just... Let's say you have 5 1/1s and you got Ikra and Prava. It's like, all right, hit you with 5 creatures with 5 toughness that have lifelink, and they have extra lifelink, but lifelink with Ikra.
Yeah, and all these creatures we're talking about have big butt. But what this deck is really all about is it doesn't matter. Play any token makers you want because Prava now pumps the butt by 4 on everyone. It's on your turn only, but that's when it matters for us because we want to be attacking. And something really cool about this deck is our creatures can just get in. We can always jam, and we gain so much life back that it won't matter. It's like, oh, I'm at 150. It's like, sure, they can. All other players can swing at me back. I'm just going to gain so much life, it won't matter.
Yeah, we're playing things like Sapling Migration and Join the Dance. It doesn't really matter that these are just 2 mana, 2 tokens. It's kind of good because we want to play them on turn 2.
Yeah.
Because they kind of curve right into it. It's like, okay, play these on turn 2, make 2 dudes. Then Prava, bump them up a little bit. Then later on, Ikra, now they're already in play, we can attack right away.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I said, you can play literally anything that makes tokens. Lingering Souls, March of the Multitudes. If you're not on a budget, you get, Grand Crescendo. There are so many great cards that make tokens. You choose your favorite ones. It does not matter. All that matters is, are you making tokens? Are these your commanders?
Yeah.
Boom, you're doing the thing.
I would get Whip of Erebos in this deck too. And if you want to go non-budget, cards that just make this deck turn into a whole new cavalcade of weirdness, Helm of the Host, start copying more Pravas or more Ikras and things get ridiculous. And then Aetherflux Reservoir, it just kill people.
Yeah, no, I really like Helm of the Host because every Prava is just 4 pump to the butt. And that's just, it's so big. Like, if canonically, which it's not, canonically it actually made butts bigger, it would be so ridiculous. Like, imagine like 3 Pravas, just a huge, like, an absurdly large booty.
It's absurdly large. And last card I like in this deck, Veto, also another non-budget card.
We're
higher butt, lifelink.
We're playing life gain butts. Life gain butts.
I mean, Veto and an activation with any creatures with your commanders in play is game over. You're killing somebody.
I want to know what Ikra Shadiki does. Why does Ikra care so much about the butt?
She's a snake, so she doesn't have a butt.
She's a butt girl.
Right, I guess so.
This Ikra Shadiki Prava deck is really cool, and you can check out the full deck list on Maraschiello.com, the best deck building website on the entire internet, with hundreds, if not thousands, if not millions, if not trillions of great features.
We talked about all the different categories of this deck. There's life gain, there's big butts, there's token makers, and then there's lifelink makers, and then you can tag each of those things on Maraschiello, and then you can see, oh, I'm not sorting by price or mana cost like you normally can on this amazing app. I'm sorting by my own personal choices.
Yes, but even better than that is you can put them into the tags and then sort by mana value after that. Meaning it'll be put into all your tags. You'll have everything, your ramp, your card draw, your removal, all in these different categories, but it'll still be in order. Or you can do it by price. Maybe you're trying to make a budget deck. The Secret Prava deck was only a $50 deck when first brewed.
This Maraschiello.com is too good. It needs to be nerfed, and until it's nerfed, we're going to shout it out.
It can never be nerfed. It only gets buffed every single week.
All the balance changes, keep buffing it. This next deck is not recommended if you are a slow player or if you would like to lend it out to a slow player, because it is the all-modal deck with Brea the Ethereum Shaper as the commander. This is every single card in the deck gives you a choice, from lands to spells to creatures. You can't do anything unless you choose what to do.
Yes, exactly. So for one thing I want to say, we'll start with this. We're going to go through, I wanted to make sure I can make this deck function from lands, ramp, removal, and card draw. So I went through like the basics. For lands, anything that has an activated ability on top of tapping for mana, perfect. Works. You can play any land like that. Anything that taps for a color, like Spire of Industry, or taps for a colorless, that works. Those are choices. Did you mention that the Brea is the commander?
Yes, she has plenty of choices.
She does. Brea has plenty of choices. I think it's hilarious. OG Duels, Swamp gives it one ability to tap for a black, and say it's Swamp Mountain gives it an ability to tap for a red. Now, sometimes it's shortcut to say red or black, but they're two different abilities.
Shock lands, you pay 2 life, or they enter tapped. Filter lands, you have to pick one of 3 filter options. Pain lands, Wingding, or red or black or whatever. And then cycling lands, cycle it or play it. And my favorite one, of course, MDFC's, which side do you want to play it on?
Yeah, also filter lands, you can choose Wingdings as well. That's just another. On top of that, you can just choose Wingdings. You can actually, if you really want, you could easily play any land that tests for 2 mana, because you do always have a choice. Because as long as there's a choice, I feel like the card makes the deck. You could even, I like Talismans a lot. They go Wingding or one of the 2 colors. This is your ramp, obviously. Mindstone, sack it, or make some mana. Liquid Metal Torque, make something into an artifact, or make mana. And I like Path to Exile because it actually moves us into the removal category, because you can ramp yourself, or you can exile their creature.
That's generous. That's very generous.
Come on, it is.
So any removal spell, you can target your thing or their thing.
No, but in the case of Path to Exile, it does double as a ramp spell.
Generous Gift, you can make a 3/3.
Yeah, sure.
Right. Removal, we got Cyclonic Rift. It has 2 different modes to be cast from. Force of Will has 2 different ways to cast it. Wear Tear has 3 different ways to cast it. And then Farewell has 4 different modes.
Yes, you get to choose any number of them, or you can choose 1 or 2, 3, 4. I don't know. What's the total number on that? It's like,
I don't know, but the decision trees in this deck probably look absurd.
They definitely don't look pretty.
It's like...
They like, literally, there would be, like, every single play, there would always be a decision tree. Exactly. It's kind of insane to think about, actually.
How about card draw?
Card draw, we got Drown in Dreams. We can, mill somebody and draw cards, or we can just do one or the other. Reconnaissance Mission, anything with cycling, period can go in the deck because you can either cycle it or play it as the actual
Feels
spell.
like cheating, but
It is a mode. It is modal. Same thing with Grim Horror Specs, which
that one I like.
Morph. Morph also works like that too because either you play it face down or you play it face up. So you can play any number of morphs in this deck. One of the ones you can really go with that if you really want to cheat, you can put in any number of planeswalkers you want.
But I think they have to be able to plus or minus right away.
Yes, because I saw Narset and I went, no, you can't put Narset in. She's not a modal planeswalker. You have to be able to do 2 abilities right away. As long as you can make 2 choices right away, good. Modal card.
Yeah, if you can play fast and you can play loose sometimes and you don't really care too much about the nitty-gritty, this is the deck for you. If you're going to take 7-minute turns with a deck that doesn't give you that many choices, never touch this deck. I will come fight you if you touch this deck.
I would love to know, with a deck where every single card has an individual choice like this, how impossible would, mathematically, to play correctly.
I mean, you already have the choice of whether to play a card or not. And it's all just layered on top.
There's already. I think playing a game of Commander perfectly is nearly impossible because there's so many decision trees. Now, can you play it very well, almost perfect? Yeah, definitely. But now take that and now times it by about 10. It's just like
this is your big brain Galaxy Brain deck.
Yeah, if you have a Galaxy Brain or you want to pretend like you do, this is your deck. All right, and this is a Beezy deck. This next one, Beezy just came up with it and kind of just went with it. It's mono white madness. Commander is Celestine, not the most important, but it does work because it's a graveyard synergistic.
It turns out it actually works a lot with the deck, and I was looking through, what discard outlets there are in white, but we want to discard cards in white. We want to cast cards from being discarded with white, and then we want to gain card advantage from it. So the payoffs we have in mono white madness, we have Bag of Holding and Currency Converter, which say you discard a card, exile it under there, and then you can get them back or turn them into tangible advantage. Contain the Construct is just madness on all your cards, basically.
Yeah, exactly. When you discard it, you can choose for the rest of the turn to play it. So it's really nice. You play it from exile instead.
Yeah, and we also have Spirit Cairn. Whenever a player discards a card, you can pay white and make a 1/1 Spirit. Probably one of the best cards in the deck. We're going to be making a ton of spirits. Confessor. Whenever anyone discards a card, you gain a life. And then I'm definitely playing Bartered Cow in this deck. How could I not? You discard it, you get a food, which lets you gain life off of Celestine, so when you discard your heavy creatures, you just get them right back.
Obviously, that's super
Bartered
important.
Cow, first time ever seeing play anywhere.
That tells you how strong this deck is.
This deck is sweet. I might build this deck.
Did you know there's only 2 cards in all of White with Madness, and they are Strength of Isolation and Frantic Purification. That's it. Yeah, that's all you get for actual Madness.
Strength gives you pro-black on an enchantment, and Frantic Purification is removal. It destroys an enchantment.
They're both pretty poopy cards, but hey, at least we actually get some of the namesake madness in the deck.
Yeah, there's some really cool stuff you can do. I was brewing around. Let's go with the discard outlets. Acacian Crier, make some tokens. Peace of Mind is great. Discard, gain 3 life, so we can get back giant creatures. We can throw Elish Norns in the bin. We can throw cards with graveyard abilities like Phyrexian Triniform or something in the graveyard, or Soul of Eternity, just gigantic creatures that we discard. It's kind of like drawing a card.
Yeah, we also, if you want to discard, there's also the silly 1/3 that are just indestructible that we just have.
Yes, you can play Fleeting Spirit, Guardian of Nubenalia. There's Seasoned Hollowblade. You might not need to go that deep. We also have Sparring Regimen and Professor of Symbology. Learning lets you discard and draw.
Which is weird. This deck is really stretching. Key to the City, actually a very good Magic card. I'm very, very high in Key to the City, especially when you have the discard synergies. Smuggler's Copter, another one, just discard. Okay, we're playing Underworld Cookbook with no Asmo. That is so rough.
We don't need Asmo. We can make food tokens, which reanimates the creature we discard anyway, and we can pay 4 to second and get a creature. And we also have Conniving, Rafine's Informant, and an Illuminator Virtuoso. Restoration of Aganjo is just an actual playable card.
That is a good card.
And one of my favorites that I think you can do is, there's Auric Salvagers, I think. It's the 2/4 for 4 that says 1 and a white, get back a 1-drop artifact. Well, let's play Wayfarer's Bauble or whatever, Esper Sentinel. Play any number of them, and you can just keep discarding it. So you pay 1 and a white, plus whatever, and you keep getting the effect over and over.
Yeah, no, when I think of the Salvagers, the card that the only thing that always comes to mind is the LED combo.
Yeah, we don't have that. You probably could.
You could if you have Auric Salvagers. Why not just? It also it makes you discard. What do you mean?
Wow.
We get to discard our whole hand with that.
The Bomberman.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just go Bomberman combo in this deck and just win.
And then when you think of discarding, you can put any number of cyclers in here, any number of cycling payoffs. Don't go too hard because it'll take away from the madness theme.
that your deck might actually be good.
Yeah, and also make sure you have fatties to reanimate. That's going to make Celestine really jive with the whole deck like perfectly.
Yeah, and if you didn't like any of these decks, check out one of our other videos where we go 5 other decks.
Whoa.
Peace out, Tribe Scouts.